Hello and welcome to Everyday Data, where we examine current trending topics in data, analytics, and AI and how they show up in our everyday lives. We're your hosts, Patricia and Zach, recent graduates from NYU's Masters of Science in Business Analytics and AI program, and we're both data and pop culture enthusiasts. So today, what we're talking about is what everyone is talking about, right, Patricia? And that is something I've seen multiple times, and I know you have as well. K-pop Demon Hunters. So I watched it
I'm
when it came
obsessed
out.
with this movie.
We just watched it again last weekend because the sing-along version came out. My son went to go see the sing-along in the theaters. So it's a massive global sensation. I love it. Listen to it, Apple. But so what's the data and AI angle? And we talked about this a little bit. So Patricia, what is the interesting thing? How does K-pop and K-pop Demon Hunters connect to data and AI?
Okay, so I just have to say that I also went to the sing along in the theater and it changed my life. So it was probably the best cinematic experience I've had in my life. This movie is amazing. It was my fourth time watching it. So as you can see, it's taken over both of our lives. And so naturally, we were talking about just what to talk about this week, and then talking about just like how we are obsessed with K-pop Demon Hunters. And I think just like the industry of like just K-pop as an industry is really interesting right now because it's been interesting for a couple of years. Like it's obviously made its way into Western society and culture a couple of years ago, which by the way, like I want to just call out here that like back in my day, it was not cool to like K-pop because I was a nerd who liked K-pop and had to hide it in high school. But now that it's all cool or whatever, we're talking about it. And so we are talking about it and we're talking about music and like this like K-pop Demon Hunters especially has like taken the world by storm. This is the first time like a girl group has gotten to the top 100 Billboard charts since like Destiny's Child or something. Like I don't know the details of that. But talking about K-pop, we were just like looking online and we found an interesting news story that Higgsfield AI is a company that I think a lot of content creators might be familiar with, in that it helps content creators create images and videos to supplement their content creation. And what they've done is they're now promoting that they can help you become an idol, a global AI music idol. And they've already created the first K-pop AI idol. And did you listen to her
Yeah,
music?
and that's I think the interesting angle that we talked about how this connects with analytics and if you're in tech space algorithms and okay, everyone says algorithms, but what algorithm is? It's just like a recipe, right? It's just a
Yep.
formula you're going to follow, and K-pop has perfected that formula, right? They took maybe something that, the original boy bands, like you're talking about like Backstreet Boys, and then that morphed into it went to Asia. You had, I think, probably started in Japan. You had the J-pop boom of like the late 90s, the first girl groups, and then this formula, hard to say algorithm, but this, yeah, like take a group, train them, and then Korea perfected this into what we now know as globally as K-pop. And
It's really interesting you mention it that way because that's how we learn about AI and machine learning being put together, right? Like you take your test data, you put it together, you refine it, you test it some more, and then you have your final product. And I feel like that's what J-pop and K-pop have done over so many years is like figured out all of these different niches in music, and then they train their idols for years before they even release them out into the public. And then once they're out, they're like these like perfectly tuned idols that now create these amass followings. And it's so interesting to see how this like just in the world of K-pop and in like how they've created these groups that are so globally popular. It's kind of a similar formula if you were thinking about like creating formulas from a machine learning perspective.
yeah, they've perfected the formula. They found what sells, what people want. It's like reverse engineering humans, but and then finding what works, which is the purpose of algorithms, machine learning. They've trained the data on pop charts around the world over years to the and then talking about the story, how it connects. this is kind of like taking it to the extreme, the next level. And when I was thinking about this, are you familiar with VTubers?
No.
Oh, so this is you talked about J-pop and like Japanese. I think it originated in Japan, but it's virtual idols, but voiced by real people. So you don't want to show your face, it's like a faceless video, right? So they create like this
Oh,
avatar. I'll show on the screen. Hitsune Miku, I believe, if I'm butchering, I'm familiar, but she's like one of the most famous virtual idols, but it's voiced by real people. And then how this leads into K-pop Demon Hunters, it's very similar in the sense that they're virtual characters, but they're by real people. But then we found this Higgsfield AI, so it's like you're removing the person from the idol. So yeah, but you still have a person behind it. And then the next step is now you're removing even the person because that's what AI is getting to. Is it still
yeah. And
music? Like, is this creativity?
I feel like every time we talk about AI, it's always going to be, yeah, here we are again,
Yeah,
removing people
yeah,
and removing the need for people, which is exactly what everyone is so scared about, right? Is like as we delve further into how deep and how far AI can go in terms of its generation of new content and creating new types of art, art has always been such a human way of expressing ourselves and connecting with the world and connecting with each other. And now this big piece of connection and self-expression is being turned into an algorithm. This is always going to be the conversation. Like
yeah,
once again, here we are cutting humans out of a very human experience,
yeah.
which even when you think about like becoming an idol, right? Like becoming a global superstar, the amount of work that it takes to become a global superstar, the amount of work that you have to do with engaging with your fans or the physical toll that it takes on people's bodies. Higgsfield AI is like, "Oh, you know what? We could just cut through all that crap. Just give us your face." What's their tagline? Isn't it like you don't
You
need
don't, yeah,
talent anymore?
yeah. You don't need your talent. Your face is enough. Yeah.
Yeah, like that's crazy to me. Like it takes so many hours to become beloved by people. But here we are. Higgsfield is like, yeah, you don't need any of that. Like, we will figure out the algorithms, figure out what music is popular, and turn you into an idol. Like, that's kind of scary.
I think I mean, just speaking about like, don't you need your face? Of course, auto tune, right? This was like the early, so I think it's just, yeah, it is a natural progression. It's like an evolution of the genre. Like we had auto tune, which is, blew up. It kind of like paved the way for acceptance of voice changing. I think there was resistance, right? Like at first, everyone kind of hated auto tune, right? Because it sounded weird. Like the early auto tune songs, it was clearly, yeah, they're using like a program to smooth out their vocals. But now it's to the point where, yes, AI has trained on, like the tones and the inflections of voice. And now you don't need to smooth it out all the way with a program like Autotune. It can recreate even the uniqueness of a voice, but might not unique because it's just copying what's in the data almost. Yeah.
Yeah, this actually reminds me of an assignment we did when we were in our masters. We had to do this like data visualization assignment and we had to create a bunch of visualizations. But what I did mine on was what is the key that a song should be in to reach the top Spotify playlist, like or to reach the top songs in Spotify.
Yeah.
And I just like downloaded all of the Spotify data and I looked at like what keys music was in and different genres and all of the top songs. And I think I found that like you needed your song to start in or to be in like C sharp or something like that. And it's like that's your guaranteed way to have a song reach the top like Spotify playlists. And it's crazy to me to think that that like little assignment that I did, like a whole industry could be built on that. And then thinking like, do we then end up having just like this homogeneity in our music? Because now all of this music will just be following an algorithm to make you famous. So a part of me wonders, like, do you as an artist, again, like as an artist, the whole point is to be able to have say over your music, right? Higgins Field with this technology is saying that we just need your face. I guess we'll do the rest. That's how I assume it is. Like, I don't know if the artists are really going to have the opportunity to choose their own genres or really be creative in any way during this process. But it's like you're basically giving up that right or that ability to be expressing yourself or to have that expression or to choose or to even choose like what kind of music you're going to do, what kind of sound you want to create because they're just going to feed it to you. So my question would be like, do art like from an artist perspective, is that even something you would want? Like I
Yeah.
don't see the appeal in that.
See, and I think this is, I mean, that's an interesting take because it also kind of frames the question of, I mean, I hate to use the analogy, but like guns don't kill people, people do. It's not,
Mm,
there's a market for it, right? So it's the market reacting because, like you said, if it's like AI slop or just, it's bad, no one's gonna listen to it. So it's like capitalism is going to, push it down the algorithm. No one's gonna listen to it. No one's gonna want it. So, the market would demand, it would balance itself by not, rewarding this content for being there. But the counterpoint is that people do listen to it. So either it's, is it society accepting AI or is the AI just so good that, yeah, it's blurring the line? And then who's like not responsible? I hate to always use it's ChatGPT's fault when it's the user, it's maybe the platform. There was, of course, the case where the algorithm is optimizing, like we learned in class, it's like the algorithms are optimized for engagement. The classic social media thing where Facebook got in trouble because controversial content rise to the top. It gets more engagement.
hmm.
They're trying to maximize time on the platform, so it's feeding you more what you want to react to angrily. And then for the
Yeah.
music, yeah, you want a certain, I guess, tone, a flow to the song. Are humans just hardwired for this? I don't know. It's like a broad question. Yeah,
Yeah, like I want to hear from people to see what they think.
yeah,
I had another question or another thought around this. And for some reason, this whole story reminded me of like Hannah Montana, like the idea that, you could have like two split lives, right?
yeah,
Because you're basically like, if you give just your face to this AI global pop star that you're going to become,
yeah,
do you then live your personal life as your person, or do you then take on this AI superstar life in your regular life too? Like, are you now doing all of these press tours and are you doing interviews as the AI to like promote your music and promote the
yeah,
AI? But then you're not doing any live shows because you don't have that talent, right? So like
yeah.
where does your life feed into this, right? Like, do you end up living a double life like Hannah Montana?
Yeah. Are we all turning into Hannah Montana because
Yeah.
or at least the virtual influencers? Yeah, that's an interesting question. Yeah, like yeah, it's a blurring. Or is it just the new normal? Like we're the maybe the old guard that didn't grow up with this. And my counterpoint to that even is that people, yeah, as you grow up with AI more commonplace, it just becomes the normal. Like, it's not weird to be online anymore, right? Where like my generation, we grew up in the very early days of the internet. Internet for us was dial-up modems. But nowadays, everyone's always connected, iPads. People don't know how to type because they've only used like iPad, non-physical keyboards. So to your point about the, when does the line blur? I think we talked about this last week. It's a transition period, I think, right? It's one of those things where it could go another way if the market demands, right, to be more this double life, everyone's Hannah Montana, your online connected persona and your offline. Or is like Ready Player
Yeah.
One, we're always jacked into the net.
Also, like I think of like I grew up when like I was around when Instagram first launched. And so I think you can attest to this, like we're the generation that put our entire lives up on Instagram.
Mm.
But this generation now has really split their lives. Like they have their public Instagrams, then they have their Finsta, and then they have a third Instagram for their actual friends. Like between all three Instagrams, they have all of these like split like literally Hannah Montana versions of themselves. And so you're right. Like, is it something that just everyone is used to? Like, you have your VR avatar version of yourself, and then your actual version of yourself, your human version of yourself. You have your three Instagram accounts, and now you have your like AI personality that's online and creating content. Like everyone is creating content. You and I are creating
Yeah, we're
content.
getting for sure. Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's just content creation is now just part of our lives. And so do we now just basically like are we taking that work and just making it easier for ourselves?
Mm.
But then what was the point of content creation in the first place?
Yeah, to
Wasn't
express
it,
yourself or yeah,
yeah, wasn't it to express ourselves? Wasn't it to share ourselves with the world? But now we're just leading that up to an algorithm
yeah.
too.
And
That
that's,
was
I
too
mean,
meta.
yeah, yeah. So where is it going? Yeah, is like where is music? To tie us back to the subject, is music, will there be that same backlash? Or, like you said, people are splitting personality and like kind of going against that always sharing because we overshared, like our generation overshared. For music, is it, too manufactured? Will these K-pop groups, these overly manufactured, have we reached saturation, I guess, for K-pop? I mean, I see K-pop in New York is everywhere. We were in Jersey yesterday. There's, the K, everything is like just the hot thing right now. But the counterpoint and yeah, Ty last night, we saw an analog band. So I saw Oasis on their Live 25 tour, and that's something like a real band playing guitar and drums versus like idol groups where yes, they're singing, dancing, no question they're artists. But as far as the music itself, that's manufactured in the studio. They're not creating the beats, the loops and the drums like the old guard, like in Oasis, these 90s 2000 bands that yeah, I feel like they're the only ones that are like still touring. Is like you don't hear about new like bands like play instrument bands. It's all like a Taylor Swift who's a singer, the writer, no question artist, but is she like there's so much production behind the scenes to create a song, even when it's not AI, right? It's a group effort already. So is AI just again make it more accessible, making because it's already to the point where like these stars, anyone could be Taylor Swift because you just need the beat. You need the creative spark to start the conversation, the seed for the story or the song. But so are we democratizing song? Is that or again or are we going to backlash that this manufactured? Are we going to return to analog instruments? Is there going to be a the youth of tomorrow? Are they grew up on K-pop? The people that are coming up right now, will they be like, oh no, K-pop's like done. The next thing is to put the needle back the other way. Like I want to hear some guitar, some drums. Yeah.
I think there's always, I have so many thoughts to that. I think there's always going to be that next generation that rejects the generation before.
Yeah,
And
right.
like,
It's cyclical, right?
yeah, like
Yeah.
that's happening for sure. Like this next generation, this generation alpha, beta, whatever, like they're gonna hate everything that the Gen Zs love today. And I can't wait for that to happen personally because like as a millennial, just being, put to death by these like Gen Zs has been rough on my mental health. So I'm just waiting for it to be their turn. But apart from that, I think also just like in terms of what comes next, like I actually think it's gone beyond K-pop.
Mm.
And I think it's now just this concept of idol. And like I think that's what Taylor Swift is. I think
Yeah.
like we have so many just idols and there are now just like global idol groups. So, I don't know if you have heard of Cat's Eye, but have you heard of Cat's Eye?
No.
Zach, I'm about to blow up your phone with songs. Oh my God. Okay, so Cat's Eye is this like global girl group.
Okay.
Only one member is from Korea. The other members are there's one member who's from like the Philippines, one from Germany, and they all like represent
Is it a
like
Netflix series? Like a making the band
maybe
thing, or is that there's so many. I get the ads for
there's a
that.
TV show. There, yes, yes, yes. There
Okay.
was a TV show that they all had to they had to
Okay.
like be on the TV show to get onto this global idol group.
Okay.
And so they were on the TV show. These girls won. They created this global idol group and now they are like taking the world by storm. Like they have this insane Gap jeans commercial right now that everyone's comparing to Sydney Sweeney's
Yes,
jean
I did see
commercial.
that. Yes, 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 yeah. Okay, yes, yes.
Yeah, they are like taking the world by storm. And I just heard, or I was reading the news recently about a new global idol group that is putting being put together, another girl group. So it's like it's gone beyond K-pop, and
Mm.
now it's just like these like global groups where you
Yeah.
have members who have been training since they were teenagers, but they're from like across the world. Nobody wants to be content creators anymore, or any, like people want to be idols now. Like that's why K-pop
From
Demon
influencer
Hunters
to idol. Yeah.
yeah, that's why this movie is such a good movie because it like has commentary on idol culture
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah,
But
K-pop Demon Hunters, yeah, it's yeah, you got the fans. The fans are like part of the movie, right? Like, yeah, like the culture.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like we now as a society, we want to be like famous on like this global level and be idols and be on this big stage. And that's basically what Higgsfield AI is promising you. It's like it goes beyond content creation. You are now literally they're selling you the opportunity to be like the cat's eyes of the world and be this global idol. But that's not for everyone,
Yeah.
right? Like idol status, we can't all have idol status. So,
So
I
yeah,
wonder.
so still the cream's gonna rise, right? Like even if so it's democratizing again, so I see it like to put like maybe a controversial end to this. I see it as a positive, right? Just like all of AI, right? You're basically leveling the playing field. You're taking out these groups that are trained on, with they're backed by, like a show or a corporation. You've got, the SM Entertainments in Korea, right? You have these groups that are funding these groups. But if you're giving the tools, like just ChatGPT in general, right? If you're giving the world's knowledge and the ability to make yourself an idol, is it a net positive for society, right? Because there's still, if everyone has it, it kind of raising the bar for everyone as well, right? So it kind of
I'm gonna
rises
put a
all.
wrench in that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put a wrench in that. And my take is that that's where bias, like natural societal bias, will end up bringing some idols to the top and not other idols to the top. And it will just be about what do we as a society think makes up star power.
But it's
And
all virtual, so there's no like there's no identifying race,
but it's your
gender.
face.
Oh, okay. Hickfield is still the face. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, right. It's still your face. So there's still race, there's still gender. But now we're taking out things like talent, hard work. And
Yeah.
we're just putting these like artificial pieces of being human in with an algorithm and mixing that up. So two sides to this coin. Where does everyone stand? Let us know.
Yeah, I think it's a great way to end this discussion. Yeah, what is your thoughts on the future of music? Is it AI? Is it going to revert? Are we introducing bias? What's your take on, the music industry and how AI is affecting it, if you're in the industry or just a super fan?
And do you want to be the next idol?
And would you try Higgsfield AI? This is not a sponsor, but it sounds
Yeah.
tempting. If you're a, aspiring idol, would you give it a shot? Would it help you, get you to the next level, or at least maybe get your work seen?
Would you?
I don't want to be an idol, so no.
I want to be an idol and I still say no.
Okay.
I don't want anyone having that many data points on me.
Maybe a faceless. See, then the Higgsfield is keeping an edge of humanity in it, 'cause at least it's still the face. But then, like I said, you have these VTubers who have virtual concerts with the people. So if you just combine the two, then it's a totally faceless, soulless almost. Or talk about AI. And maybe one last thing: are they? Is it all in the hands of the prompt engineer? Right? That's the person
Ooh.
that's making they're the actual creative. Is how is it prompted? Right? Like what's the secret formula that's being fed into the system to create that specific tool? Like for all AI art, right? If you're feeding something into Sora, what was your prompt? Right? So
This is a good place to end.
yeah. So yeah.
Like,
So thanks for everyone watching. Please, yeah, leave your thoughts and comments about AI music, the AI, creator economy, idols, K-pop, or who's your favorite member of Huntrix?
who's yours?
Rumi.
Of course.
All
Of
right.
course you would.
It's not Saja Boys. No.
Yeah. I don't know. I love Jinu. I'm a Jinu stand for life. Okay. This is great. I
Yeah.
can't wait to see what everyone says. Bye.
Bye.